Hi guys. Okay, welcome back to my channel.
We're kind of in a time where things like this needs to be said, and not a lot of people are saying these things. The biggest uproar that has been going on lately has been about immigrants and illegal residents in the United States. One thing that people aren't taking into consideration is how everyone got here in the first place.
White people came here because they were kicked out of England. They stole boats. They came. They thought they were in India. Then they started to take over the native people's lands. Slowly after that, they started bringing people over from South America
and Africa. So the whole thing of people need to go back to where they came from, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for most of you. There are people killed every day, some just for fun, some because they owe cartel money, and some because of life choices. But they're still killed, leaving their kids behind, leaving their family behind. No explanation, no one really finding the murderers, and no one really doing anything to solve the cases. People are coming here because it is safer, because here they have opportunities to give their kids something that they are never given back in Mexico or back in the South countries. There are things out here that you cannot get. Some of these things I don't have liability to talk about because I don't experience them. But if it's going to take me in order to bring them up to the light, then I guess that's what needs to be done. It is now Pride Month, and my hometown Pride Parade is about to hit home tomorrow. Sadly, this is my first year missing it in about 6 years, so pretty bummed out about that. But a couple things we need to address when it comes to
LGBT.
My first year of going, I was 14, and being gay was still something that no one really talked about, that people weren't accepting. So when it came to the parade itself, a lot of people went all out, a lot of people were having fun, a lot of people were really touchy-touchy all over each other in public, because back home, that's something that they weren't able to do, because back home, they had to be closeted. Me personally, I had just came out publicly that year. Just posted it on my Facebook and everything, so my first Pride Parade, I went all out. I kissed a lot of people, I danced with a lot of people, I drank. But it was something that was very eye-opening. I got to see so many people openly sharing who they were. I got to see so many people openly expressing who they wanted to be. And now we're in a time where people are expressing themselves daily. And if it doesn't fit certain people's normality of what a person should be and what they should look like, a very, very big thing. Me personally, I was working at a job. I worked there, and every day I was getting misgendered by customers, and I was getting misgendered, being called ma'am, being called lady, miss, all those type of things. Half the time I would correct, and half the time I didn't. One, because if you see me as a feminine person, physically, even just like this, no eyebrows done, my eyelashes aren't curled, no nothing, if you think that this is what a woman looks like, I hate to see what kind of people you wake up to, for one. Two, we're now in a time where some people are like, do I call you ma'am or do I call you sir? I don't want to offend you, type of thing. You're better off asking someone that type of question than calling someone like me, a male, ma'am, type thing. Sometimes I am offended, sometimes I'm not. Most of the time, though, it does kind of bother Pride Parade, Pride Fest, the World of Wonder tour, or Work the World tour, the tour that the drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race does, type thing. And a lot of people, and they just, they go like, well, why do you have to show it off? Why do you have to show the world, you being trans, or you being gay, you being lesbian, type. You publicly get to have a wedding and invite everyone in your family. You publicly get to go out with your partner, and people will go, you guys look cute together. They might not say it to you, but people will think, oh, they look cute together. I wish I had something like that. Now, I live in a state where I'm scared to hold my partner's hand. I live in a state where I'm scared to wear certain things. Stuff, I mostly stay in my room because that's where I feel safe. I don't feel safe going out. And I do live in the South. So if you are questioning, yes, I do live in the South right now. I don't feel safe. And that's something that a lot of people aren't taking into consideration when it comes to LGBT rights. We're not asking to shove our pride and our freedom in front of your face. We are simply asking for the same respect that you give yourselves and the same respect that you guys give your peers, okay? So when it comes to LGBT characters being introduced in movies, we're not forcing it on children, we're educating. When I first came out to my mom, I was in the 5th grade. And the only reason I knew the terms of bi and gay was because I was getting bullied for having a girly voice and for hanging out with girls, and only girls, because guys didn't want to be my friends. If you guys give your kids the education and the type of mentality that a guy dating a guy and a girl dating a girl is fine because it's what they're doing with their lives, you are less likely to have it where, one, your kid is questioning themselves and hiding stuff from you. 2, less likely to make it where your kid is a bully. Do you want your kid to be the cause of people thinking of suicide because they aren't educated on simple respect? There has been a really big controversy of that Arthur episode, I believe it was. This guy was gonna marry a dude, and the southern states were like not for it at all. So Arthur themselves made a whole new episode, I think at first joking. They were like, okay, well, we'll make it where he's gonna marry his sister. And the southern states accepted that. So we're living in a time where someone on a TV show is okay to marry their sister, but they're not okay to marry the same sex because that's just normal, right? That's your heteronormal type of thing. I don't get how that's okay. I don't get how something like that is very approachable by some people and kind of like, yeah, let's show these kids this. It's like, really, we want to show that, but we don't want to show people loving themselves, people loving each other no matter what's in their pants or no matter the type of stereotype that they're supposed to have. When it comes to people of color, with the whole thing of like, no Mexicans, no blacks, no Puerto Ricans type thing, it's already another thing that's taking us a step back. You know, it is a very big thing for black people to be gay, especially males. It is a very big thing for black males to be gay because back then, when slavery was very high in demand, the slave owner would take the strongest male and publicly rape him and take away his masculinity. And doing that, it leaves an impression in people's minds that, one, we're already seen as weak because of our skin color. So us having gay kids is already taking us another step back. I see where you're coming from, but that's not the case. People should be able to love who they want to, when they want to, how they want to, no matter if that's simply just being with themselves for the rest of their lives or being with the same sex. There are things that happen mentally in people's heads that we don't understand, and I think it's time that we just accept the fact that that's none of our business. Me dating a man isn't anyone's business, and I shouldn't have to explain why I'm doing it. And I feel like the biggest thing that is not talked about isn't the acceptance of society accepting the LGBT, but people's families in the LGBT not accepting that. A lot of people's families are like, well, to hell with it. I don't want that in my household. Get out. I talked about that. People get kicked out a lot. People are beaten by their own parents because they want to change their sex or they want to date the same sex. And is that okay? Is that something that we should be allowing? Because you created something and you're not capable of accepting what you created? That goes back into the other video of abortion. Everyone's saying, no, don't abort babies, but are you willing to love that baby no matter what? I mean, no matter what? It disgustes me how people are openly having sex, openly deciding to keep the child, openly raising the child, and then one day the child goes and tells you, I'm in love with the same sex. It's like everything that you've put into that child is just thrown away. You don't really care. Now, in 2019, should be a time of unity. Should be a time where if you did kick out your kid, apologize, reconnect. A time where if you did neglect your parents from the truth, let them in. Educate them. Give them something to take on for the rest of their life. Our parents were our age. This was gross. This is something that was diabolical. This is something that was seen as like a whole STD type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What did I say? You know what I'm saying? Because it's not even here. It's just me talking to it.
we're now in a time where LGBT people are being killed, killing themselves, being beaten, bullied every day because you're not educating your kids, and because if you're not gonna like it, your kids aren't gonna like it. We're also in a time where if you're Mexican or if you're black or if you're not from America and it shows, you're now someone who's trying to take from the country. You're someone who's taking advantage of public assistance. You're someone who is just disgusting. Someone who needs to learn language. Someone who needs to learn the correct way of an American. And if that's your mentality, let's learn the correct way of an American. You guys came here, saw something that you like, took it completely. No regards to the native people that were here before. No regards to the millions of people that called this place home. No regards to the million of people that put blood, sweat, and tears into the soil. They didn't even have sugar. Where did they get that from? The islands. They didn't even have tobacco. Where did they get that from? The islands. I don't get how we're in a space where they literally teach you in school that white people came, took shit, claimed it as their own, and now we're in a space where people who want better lives for their kids, better lives for themselves, can't even do it without being called basically bums. If you were to sit back and ask, who is the most famous person that you know? On the top of your head, a white person's going to come up. It is never going to be a black person at the top of your head that's going to come up as the most successful person that you know. Do you know why? Because it is set like that. It is set for white people to be the most successful, for white people to be the most powerful, then the brown people, then the black people, then it's going to be straight people, and then at the very bottom, then it would be gays and lesbians. But half the time, you don't want to address the fact that you have straight people playing queer people in movies and stuff like that, but you don't want to hire actual queer people. That doesn't make sense. Then you guys want to get mad about colored people playing white normal roles of like comic book figures and stuff like that.
Like, really? 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 Okay.
Let's talk about how Superman's only been a white character, but is even from the fucking planet and yet called an alien. Oh, what else are called aliens? Hispanics. Why can't we have a Mexican Superman? Please let me know. Or the fact that Zendaya was supposed to play Ariel in a real-life Little Mermaid movie. When the fuck is that movie coming? Because I saw that ad back in high school. But still, when is it coming? I don't fucking know. Probably isn't, because so many white people...
No, that's not right. That's not okay. She's supposed to have ivory skin and red fiery hair, because that's the Ariel we know. That's the Ariel we raised our kids on. That's the one who's a doll figure, a little white girl with red hair.
Yeah, she's also naked. In a sea. With the fucking tail. So unless you believe mermaids are real, she could be a black in a real-life movie if they fucking wanted to. There is a little part of everyone inside of everyone. Because supposedly we came from two people. If you're going to sit here and live in the United States, you're going to say the pledge that has the words, "We are united as we stand."
Blah, 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 blah.
Show it. Act like it. There's no reason that we, as a country in 2019, should be like, oh, you can't come here because there's a high possibility that you might be a terrorist. Oh, you can't come here because there's a correct way to come here, even though none of us are here correctly in the first place. Oh, you can't come here because you guys are black and we're white and this is a white world country. And when did we become a country that just neglected basic human rights? When did we, as a society, be like, you guys are so gross, just because we're taught that we're the superior type, and you guys are minorities, and we just have to keep it that way in order to keep an order of higher power balance and all that he said, she said bullshit. Like, me being 19, I don't feel comfortable going outside because I can't stand being in an area where people can physically and verbally judge people based off of them not looking like each other. And back to the whole terrorist thing. You want to talk about terrorists? Let's talk about terrorists, because, let's talk about it, because, bombings, show me one that's been done by a colored person in the States. School shootings, so show me one that was done by a colored person in the States. Mass serial killers, show me one that was done by a colored person in the States. You can't? I wonder why. It's very shocking. Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, the Zodiac Killer. What did they all have in common? Don't understand. I really don't understand. When did basic knowledge and basic rights just get thrown away because we have some fucking Cheeto puffhead in office?
Don't understand. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And I don't care if you don't agree with anything that I said, honey. This is my channel. If you don't like it, Don't fucking watch.